Hi, it's Kate French here. Just coming to you this Friday afternoon to chat a little bit to you about just some thoughts that I've been having. I've been doing a bit more reading and learning about our systems, our body systems, and how that relates to understanding how to help parents help their kids with all kinds of challenges and difficulties, including anxiety. I think I mentioned before that I've been learning a bit more about polyvagal theory by Stephen Porges, and actually had a really cool incident last Friday, I think it was. Got to attend his book launch virtually, which was really cool. So there was about 50 people, I think, on initially, and then I think it grew to about 100, and of course it was in the US live, and then it was like about 11 o'clock in the morning here in Australia. So I had gotten his book probably a few weeks before that, so I have just been sort of reading my way through it, and I got to geek out a little bit and hear lots of cool questions and other authors talking about their books in this polyvagal theory space. So it kind of has been a really cool I suppose time in my learning, putting pieces together in terms of understanding the importance of safety and the importance of the awareness of a physiological sense of safety, and how that impacts on how we relate to one another, how we work therapeutically with kids and families. And without going into the theory, because I'm still getting my head around it, in terms of the different layers and the way that the vagus nerve kind of works and the different kind of parts of regulating that happens. But essentially, it resonates that safety is just so important if we want to understand kids and teens' behaviour, and that if we look at it from that lens about how behaviour communicates what might be happening internally for young people, our approach is going to be one of compassion and one of thinking about how we can help co-regulate them. So a lot of our approaches, I think, especially being a cognitive psychologist in terms of my training, is thinking about our thinking skills and about how we can change people's thinking skills and support them with that. And it doesn't go into so much detail about whether they're able to do that thinking skill component, or it maybe assumes that the internal arousal state is calm enough to do that kind of thinking kind of work. And that's certainly not necessarily the case, and especially with lots of kids who I see who are anxious, or kids who are neurodivergent, whose sensory systems are often quite stressed and not in a calm kind of state, then thinking that we can go in and do some work that asks their brain to be calm and to be relaxed and be able to do some switching of patterns and challenging different things is probably too much of a stretch. So for those that have followed me, I'm really keen on learning more about interoception awareness, which is the body signals from within that tell us whether we're comfortable, whether we're warm, whether we're hot, whether we're full, whether we're hungry, and it has a big basis to understanding our emotion regulation as well. So we know that part of it is really, really important, and the polyvagal theory adds to that understanding and talks about neuroception, which is when we're not consciously aware of feelings of unsafety and how that sends us into a fight or flight response, which we know is like a stress response, and even further, it can send us into a shutdown response where we're unresponsive, and that we actually have to be able to move them through the fight and flight response to get them back to feeling calm and safe. And when kids and teens feel calm and safe, they're a lot more able to connect socially. So one of the things I suppose I see in my work with autistic kids and teens is that, you know, the social part of it is sometimes like the symptom of the challenges, you know, whether it's difficulty with friendships and school and things like that. And I suppose sometimes we can go in with like solutions and strategies and on that kind of surface level, but what it may not do is really connect with the safety component. Are they feeling safe? Is that actually impacting on their ability to have relationships easily? Because if we're under threat, we're not in our ability to connect and to you know, share information and feel like we can resonate with other people, because we're in a state of threat. So we shut down and we're in that survival kind of mode. So thinking about that from a perspective in terms of parents, you know, wanting to support their kids. And I often hear you know, a picture painted of two different kids kind of thing, in terms of when kids are in their home environment and how they're engaged and they're creative and you know, learning and wanting to share all their cool ideas. And then, you know, teachers might be seeing a very different kind of child, one who is perhaps not in a safe space or safe environment, and maybe seeing other kind of behavior or withdrawn, shut down kind of behavior. And rather than thinking, right, we have to, you know, they've got something wrong with their skills in this area, we need to skill them up so they can learn to be more social, you know, this perspective says, well, hang on, you know, what can we do to make them feel more safe? What can we do to help them do some co-regulation with them through body and through sensory understanding and awareness, so that they're able to get back to that space where they can be more social and they can connect. And like I said, when we feel safe, we're able to do that a lot more. And I certainly see that in my work when I get to work with kids and teens, when they're talking about their interests and when they're sharing their knowledge with me. I see that delight and that beautiful facial expressions and just a sharing, a back and forth of discussions and things that I certainly don't see if they're in a stressed kind of situation. That all stops, which happens for all of us. So yeah, just thinking about how that kind of informs how we support families with their kids and things as well, in terms of their anxiety, and thinking about how we can help them, how we can co-regulate firstly, and then skill them to be tuned into their bodies and their awareness of when they are stressed, so that they're able to recognize that when they go into that fight or flight or even shut down, in terms of how we help move them through those steps so they can come back to feeling safe and connected and well regulated. So yeah, just thinking about, you know, as parents of kids who might be anxious in particular, we know that sometimes when our kids are anxious, that makes us anxious, which makes sense because we're worried about our kids and our kids' well-being. So it makes sense that we kind of either mirror that sometimes. And so in terms of going, okay, how can I communicate a sense of safety? How can I show them that things are okay? And it comes back to really simple things, like when we think about regulating, co-regulating with babies, it comes back to voice, and that soothing voice that goes up and down, and facial expressions that are calming and nurturing for them. So low and calm and modulated voices are really, they send a signal of safety to kids and teenagers as well. But you also know your own child as well. So in terms of what kinds of things help them feel safe, what kinds of actions in terms of your body and your movements are likely to send the signal to your child or young person that they are safe and that they are okay. For some, it might be more space. For others, it might be touch. You know, there can be a variety of things. But certainly, just thinking about how you can tune in to your child or young person to honor that you're trying to get them into a sense of safety, and once they're in that safe space, you can do some other kind of work with them, whether that's developing thinking strategy skills, whether it's thinking about gratitude and optimism growth. But first and foremost, we have to be thinking about how can I help my young person, my child or teenager, get into that space where they feel safe. And that might be co-regulation to begin with, in terms of, you take that lead. And for parents to take that lead, I suppose they need to feel confident and contained themselves and supported themselves as well to do this work. Because if you're feeling stressed and anxious, that potentially can come through and be mirrored through, and that doesn't send a signal of safety. Kids are really astute at picking up on signals of stress and worry, especially from people that they're really close to. So it's always a layered approach looking after kids and teens, and in terms of feeling contained and feeling safe. So for parents wanting to support their kids and teens, thinking about your own sense of safety, your own sense of feeling supported, before and foremost, or during, while you're trying to do that work of supporting others. So if that's not in place for you, think about how you can develop that. Who can you bring around you to make yourself feel encouraged, confident, and supported when you are feeling stressed, so that then you can mirror that contained, safe, calm feeling when you need to, when you have a stressed child or teenager around you. So be thinking about how you might be able to do that. And I have coming up in December a program that I'm running where I will be meeting with parents every single day of the program, except for Sunday, through my online platform, and I'll be taking you through my blueprint, my anxiety program that I developed a few years ago. So I'm really excited that I will get to do that kind of containment with parents, who then I know will go on to do that really great work, supporting their kids and teens with their own anxieties or just day-to-day challenges as well. So if you don't already have that support system around you, be really thinking about that sense of safety and connection that you need to kind of be feeling yourself, so that then you can mirror that in those moments when your kids are needing that space as well. So that's all I'm just going to chat with you about this afternoon. Just my thoughts about how, that polyvagal theory influences therapeutic work. And I can't wait to share a bit more with you as my understanding grows. So thank you for watching wherever you are, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.